Each and every 5-year plan rolled out by China would be endeavor of continuity. The participation of people is not just a mere slogan, but rather it is part and parcel of your practice of your democracy. The Chinese modernization provides a new template to all of us.
China's 2 sessions offer an important window for the world to observe China's governance priorities and development paths. We spoke with Mr. Ang Ket, former Deputy Speaker of the lower house of the Malaysian Parliament, to hear his views on the 2 sessions, China's governance model and Chinese modernization.
Have you ever followed China's 2 sessions before, and which aspect do you particularly pay attention to?
Well, I've been following quite closely the progress of your 2 sessions every year. Every year without fail, I tend to focus more on the Chinese priorities in domestic governance. And when I talk about priorities of your domestic governance, specifically, I'm more inclined to focusing on issues like the GDP, of course, job opportunities, and also food production.
This year, 2026, marks the beginning of China's 15th 5-year plan. China's 5-year plans serve as comprehensive blueprints for the country's economic and social advancement, outlining goals, strategies, and priorities for each planning cycle.
So in your view, what role does China's political system play in its social and economic development?
Each and every 5-year plan rolled out by China would be an endeavor of continuity. And that marks a difference between the Chinese governance vis-a-vis governance of many other countries in the world. So far, what really interests me most now would be the participatory democracy practiced by China before the formulation and rollout of your 5-year plan, including your upcoming, the 15th 5-year plan. And so far, to my understanding, now, before the formulation, before the rollout of your 5-year plan, now, you have a huge exercise. You need to conduct a huge exercise of mobilizing your grassroots at various levels to collect the aspirations, views, proposals from the grassroots levels at different tiers of your administration. You still need to go through it, sift through it, before you can crystallize into some implementable policies. And that policy, of course, you need to bring up now to the NPC, the National People's Congress, for the final endorsement. And I call that a different mode of democracy. From my perspective, I call that the participatory democracy. Or in China, you call it the whole process of people's democracy. In your mode of democracy, I could see that the participation of people is not just a mere slogan, but rather it is part and parcel of your practice of your democracy. This is something that the Western model could hardly see. Now, because when I make such a comparative study, actually, I really mean it, because I could see that now in the Western model, many a time, the people's participation is more centered around the electioneering process, meaning when you are ready to vote for certain candidates or certain parties, then of course the people's role would be central now to the exercise. On top of that, of course, I could also see there is another area of a difference between the two models. In the Chinese model, of course, you tend to be more accommodative and consultation-based, meaning it is not a game or a contest of winner takes all.
Chinese modernization is another concept that has attracted increasing international attention in recent years. It refers to a modernization path rooted in China's national conditions.
So how do you view China's modernizations and what lessons or experience it offers to other countries?
The Chinese modernization provides a new template to all of us. China has come up with an alternative, proving it otherwise, meaning modernization is not synonymous with westernization, and it should be rooted in self-confidence in your own cultures and social norms, and also it should be guided by the level of developmental progress of your country. No two countries in the world share the same trajectory of progress. You managed to prove to the world that you could lift about 850 million people out of poverty. That is a remarkable achievement, 10 years ahead of the United Nations deadline. And also on top of that, now it becomes a template for many others to emulate. I think this in itself is a remarkable feat in the history of humankind.